Hello and welcome back to Harry Shoots People. In today's video we're going to be doing a sort of double billing of sorts, as I shot two separate events and I'm going to combine them into one video. So for the first event I boarded the train to Manchester to go and shoot DJ Cosworth and Old Boys back to back all night long at a new venue in Manchester, Unit 3. As excited as I was to shoot this event, after a long hard Saturday at work, suffice to say the energy levels from myself were a little low. But we made it there in high spirits and I was ready to start shooting. Starting off strong with this slow shutter speed photo, and it came out really nice in my opinion. I really like how the pink came out and the slight canted angle is nice. That's something I'm trying to do a little bit more in my work, is I've just basically learned to tilt the camera, and it's opened up a whole realm of possibilities for myself, especially when paired with the 28mm. It just gives you kind of a nice perspective and just really opens up another dimension of interesting photos to be taken, really. Anyway, as I previously said, this was a new venue, and I personally thought it was great, aside from the fact that it might be the darkest place I've ever been in my life, physically at least. So with this problem of really low light levels, the G1's autofocus was struggling quite a lot as it uses infrared to focus. So really when it can't even find anything using infrared light, then there's really nothing to focus on. So I was a little bit more patient with it, and I think overall that resulted in some better pictures in my opinion. This shot of Travis holding the wine is a particular favourite and harkens my memory back to this photo of Cal holding all of the beers. I can't remember what brand beer it is. But yeah, just a fun little throwback. This one again is really lovely, and again using that slight canted angle to just give the image just a little bit more personality, give it a bit more range of what it's covering, and to sort of set it apart from all the other bang straight horizontal images that I've shot in the past. I do really enjoy getting a bit more abstract and using the slow shutter speed shots, especially ones like this, but it just feels like I haven't quite nailed down how to perfectly execute the vision of what I wanted, as I shot both of these two, which I do like, but it feels like in between the two of them there's a middle ground of the image that I was envisioning, but that's just something to work on in the future. This is probably my favourite image for the night. I feel like it's got a good layering to it. It's got a fairly unique perspective from being behind the DJ and in the DJ booth, and that hard flash works well, and also I feel like it just works as a good representation of the night. So I'm pretty fond of it. Yeah, like my warm meals a day. Between 200 So that night I'd stayed over at my friend Louis' flat, and the day after we decided to take a couple pictures just walking around Manchester and stuff. And we started off pretty strong with this photo of their cat, Ozzy. I'm also a really big fan of this shot of me and Louis in the lift. I feel like the colours just came out really nice. The sort of borders of the image in the elevator seem to go on forever, which I really like. And it's sort of got this like Finn Flint-esque inspiration, which I like too. We headed down to get a coffee and took a couple more pictures, and Louis tried his hand at using the Contax G1.
That might be nice.
But it was when we got down into the canals that inspiration really seemed to strike, because I took these two pictures back to back, both of which I'm really, really impressed with. The first of which is his portrait of Louis, which just came out really nice. Focus is crisp, the colours are lovely. There's a little bit too much headroom in my opinion, but that's the problem you're going to run into with 28mm. And the second of which is this image of a man and his dog that just walked past us and were walking into the sunset. So I quickly span around, crouched down, added that tiny bit of tilt to my camera and got this, which I really, really love. I love how all of the shadows are sort of leaning and leading in towards me, and the overwhelming presence of the sun is a really nice touch too, and it just gives the image this really nice look. For the final shots of the roll, we were just finishing up our walk, so I took a couple pictures of some of the nicer bits that we saw, or nice compositions. I do enjoy this one of the geese drinking the water. For these last couple images, I decided to really draw upon my inner Jay Johnson, taking some pictures around Manchester. And I think the last one is fairly nice and gets fairly close to kind of like the kind of look that he sometimes does. But overall, clearly the standout from this day was definitely that picture of the man walking away into the sunset, in my opinion at least. So after that brief intermission, we'll cut to a couple days later when I was shooting Sonni Mill's headline gig at Hallamshire Hotel. Okay, hello. So tonight we are going to go down and shoot Sonni Mills at Hallamshire House. Jenwynnwynn is also playing, and hopefully it should be quite good. Main camera tonight, 139Q, 50mm Carl Zeiss lens. I might bring the 135 just in case. Need to switch out or whatever. And we're going to load some Ultramax into there. Just at 400 speed, just gives us a little bit of a nicer range. And then the G1 did pretty well for a couple of shots at hardline. So, gonna bring this as my side camera, pop some Gold 200 in there, and just see what kind of like little BTS bits we can get. I'm also gonna bring my Cinestill 800T, just in case, you know, don't know what the lighting conditions are going to be like down there, but we shall see. Shooting flash as well on both, so fingers crossed everything turns out okay. Anyway, I'm running late, so we're going to head down there now. Adios. Okay, so Jenwynnwynn was supporting that night, so I started warming up by taking a couple of pictures of her and just sort of getting into the groove of things. I do really need to start buying higher shutter speed film stocks for events like this. But unfortunately, with Portrait 800 being £21 a roll, it really just does not seem worth it at the time. But obviously, this is where then I regret it when I'm having to shoot at like 1.7 to 1.8 just to get my shutter speed into the 30 frame region. As well, sometimes obviously when you're shooting without flash, the just general haze and the sort of motion blur can be a bit too much at times. Obviously, sometimes it can be used for sort of deliberately artistic and almost surreal effect, but majority of time, unfortunately for me at least, it just comes off not being the sharpest. However, I did take this shot of Louis, which I really like. It's like that perfect combination of slightly out of focus, slightly blurry, but really nice ambience and atmosphere to it. Once Sonni Mills had started playing, I started to get a little bit more comfortable and started taking more pictures.
I'm sick of the walls, the borders and frames. I'm tired of the lies, we're so far from truth, it's causing space. Walking the streets.
The 135mm lens did come in really useful on this day, as to just isolate her a lot more than the 50mm allows me to. However, I'm kind of leaning into buying maybe an 80 or a 90mm lens just to sort of get a middle ground between the two, because I find that, for my particular taste at least, some of these 135 shots are a bit too close almost.
They just don't know what it's like to hold you at night. Color me more and lead me to the storm. Leave me alone.
For the most part, the lighting setup at Arronte Hotel came out looking really nice. However, unfortunately, at points there was this really strong red light shining directly down onto Sonni Mills while she was performing. So I had to convert some of them into black and white, which sort of evened the image out a little bit and made it a lot more readable, which is nice too. After the gig had finished, I headed up to the green room to take 2 pictures of Sonni Mills by herself. I really like both of them, particularly though the second one is a lot nicer in my opinion, but for both of them they're both in focus and the upfront flash is really nice. And then I took a couple pictures of the band as well. Whilst, yes, it's a pretty common and almost a cliche composition, I do really enjoy these 2 images of everyone standing in the corridor at different depths. Okay, so gig went really well, had a great time. Shout out to everyone that played. Shot the whole thing on the Contax 139 just because I was swapping between the 50 and the 135 and there really wasn't any point in using the 28 on the G1. Ended up shooting a roll and a half. So I shot the Ultramax and then I shot the I've shot 13 pictures of the gold 200, but that's perfectly fine because tomorrow we're going to use the rest of the gold. I'd love to tell you, but it's secret until maybe 30 seconds later in the video. Yeah, lighting conditions not ideal. I did a little bit of a mix of slower shutter speeds and kind of a mix of shooting flash, both of which I'm not the most confident in, so hey, we'll really see what those come out looking like. Hopefully they're good, as always. Not as always, not saying they're good always, I'm saying I'm hopeful that they're good, as I am every time. Just gonna edit that out probably. Anyway, yeah, hopefully they're good. And took some more portrait style ones of Sonni Mills and the band afterwards. Hopefully they come out quite nice. There was some quite nice compositions. It was quite a small space, the green room. But anyway, it's currently 11 PM. I work at 8 and then we're doing something very interesting at 5 PM. So yeah, I'll see you then. Okay, so as I've just mentioned, there was supposed to be another part to this video, the eponymous third gig. But to be honest, I shot too many pictures. There's way too many pictures for that event, and they all came out really, really good. So I think that I'll be separating that off and making it into a separate video. I'd simply love to tell you that the Made by Atelier X One to Another Boy in a Dream video will be coming out next week, and that you should subscribe to see that. But I simply cannot say what it is. I simply could not. Anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. Shout out to everyone that's included in the video, and shout out for letting me take pictures of you. Everyone's Instagrams will be down in the description, and whilst you're down there, why not drop the video a like? If you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more of my photography, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching.